So I have a brother, and he's 9 years older. And when we were growing up, when I was little, he used to play a game with me whenever I was talking too much. And he'd say, we're going to play the silent game. And my first reaction, when I'm like 5, 6 years old, is great, we're playing a game. And he'd say, all right, first person to talk loses. And I'd be like, all right, sounds fun. And then about 5 minutes would go by, and I'd realize, I don't like this game. I don't like not being able to talk. You know what? And you probably don't either. Communication is something that we've developed as a human race over time that distinguishes us from all other mammals. It's the ability to express our thoughts and our desires, and it's really fascinating when you think about the history behind it. So, kind of on a historical timeline, we have roughly 400,000 years ago, humans begin to say or ooh, ooh. This was the only thing they could say at the time. Their vocal cords hadn't adapted yet. We weren't able to speak in complete sentences. About 100,000 years then ago, some early vocal cords start to develop. Archaeologists say now humans could say more than or ooh, ooh. We could kind of combine syllables and sounds. And then roughly 45,000 years ago, in parts of prehistoric and Paleolithic Europe, humans begin to effectively, develop some sense of a modern language. These would really sound more like a bunch of syllables thrown together than what we might think of as a real language. So, as the origins of language are beginning, our early ancestors kind of divided the way of speaking into two sets of words. They had physical words, and they had abstract words, or concepts. When you think physical, think of things you can actually touch. Like they probably had a word for rock, and they had a word for tool. They had a word for food. They can say, you can touch a rock. A tool might be a bow and arrow or a spear for hunting. You can reach out and you can touch, or, a food, like a big, nice, warm chocolate chip cookie. I'm not sure why it's white, but, you get the idea. You can reach and you can touch the physical words. And so, they'd say, here's a word for rock, tool, and food. Abstract words, on the other hand, might be things such as love, or maybe war, or jealousy. You can't come out and you can't touch love, or you can't touch war. You can't grasp these things. These were abstract. In other words, you might think of these as concepts. So as humans began to develop the first types of physical words, rocks and tools and food, they were able to develop more complex words that eventually led to abstract phrases and clauses. So they'd say, oh, I really love that girl from the other Neolithic tribe, or those other people are making me mad, I want to go to war with them, So that's kind of the origins, some of the beginnings of languages. So those were all verbal or oral expressions of communication, but they were also visual, written senses of communication. These were called pictographs. And pictographs were essentially drawings and illustrations carved onto caves, many of them in Europe, detailing the way life was at the time. So I think of the scene in Ice Age when Sid the sloth and the mammoth are going in there and they see all those representations of earlier life. So here's kind of some examples. This is in a cave in Chauvet-Pont d'Arc. My French may not be correct there, but roughly 32,000 to 30,000 years ago. So still the Paleolithic era. And these are some illustrations. Here we have, looks like some humans hunting maybe, going after some mammoth. Over here we see maybe some domesticated horses, their importance, or some type of domesticated animal on human life. And it's fascinating when you look and you see what these people are able to draw. You kind of get a glimpse into what their earliest stages of life were like. And think of the way human communication has evolved over time. We developed words and languages, and now we even text and we say things like BRB, and we know what that means. So, maybe I'll BRB with another video. Kind of cheesy, but, you get it. Human language. Real fascinating.